Cheese.
You are listening to Demon FM's number one show, Mead and Cheese. I am DJ Mead, Lord Corey Kane West, and we have a very exciting episode for you today because at 8 o'clock we will be joined by Peter Michael Taylor, the founder of Nidhoggr Mead Co. And I believe DJ Cheese is now in the studio. DJ Cheese.
Good afternoon.
What is our mission statement?
Oh, I'm a bit out of breath. One sec. To raise awareness of mead across the nation and make it a popular drink again.
Yes. And people like Peter and Nidhoggr are doing that.
Yes, they are. I've just put my headphones on now. And we tried some Nidhoggr Mead, didn't we? We
did try some Nidhoggr Mead, yeah. It was very nice.
Yes,
it was very different to a lot of meads we've had.
Yeah, because a lot of them are more on the sweet side, where this was it was quite a strong one, actually.
It was.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. It was a good one for mixing.
It does mix very well, yeah. And I was reading an article the other night. It was like from a Yorkshire magazine or something, and they were saying that the new mead craze is trying to rival gin, possibly.
Yes, that would be good. I'm not massive on gin, to be honest. I think it's a very strong drink.
I could imagine Nidhoggr Mead would mix well with tonic, though.
Yes. Yeah, no, I can imagine it mix as well with tonic. I'm not, tonic's not my favourite drink. I would like to see what it tastes like with Coca-Cola. That's where I would like to see it.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried other meads mixed with things before, and we found that Coca-Cola and mead does create a very sweet honey Coke cocktail, almost.
Yes, and so one thing, what we could do is think about what cheese matches with this mead.
What cheese best matches with Nidhoggr?
Yeah.
That's a good question, isn't it? Nidhoggr, as you said, it's less sweet than some of the other meads we've had. It's more of a refined gentleman's drink, I would say.
Yeah.
So we need a gentleman's cheese.
Part of me thinks
Camembert?
Possibly. I was thinking more Stilton because it's quite a strong drink, but I don't know if you want to match a strong with a strong, because that's like the strongest cheese with the strongest sort of mead.
Well, Nidhoggr is the mead of Yorkshire.
Yes.
And I think actually it matches perfectly with the cheese of Yorkshire,
which is
Wensleydale.
Oh, is it? Is that the cheese of Yorkshire?
It is, yeah, Yorkshire Wensleydale.
Well, that's the one.
And do you not think, Wensleydale, it has more of a strong taste than cheddar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think they would mix very well.
Of Wednesday. Yes, yeah. Yeah, we have some of that in our fridge at the minute. Yeah, because it's quite a sweet cheese as well. It's got the fruit in it. It's fruity.
Well, I was thinking more plain Wensleydale, but I suppose, if you got a flavoured Nidhoggr with a berry Wensleydale, they could go together quite well as well.
See, I don't often get Wensleydale plain that much, or don't notice getting it, to say the least. I sometimes get it in Christmas packages, but I normally get the berries one. Just that's what I associate it with.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been too big on fruit in cheese, but I do like a good Wensleydale just on a cracker.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. Now, what would you think of this? One thing I would like to try is try this mead warm.
Yeah, so Nidhoggr Mead Co. 5 minutes ago put out a post on their Facebook page.
Yep.
Tune in to Mead and Cheese on Demon FM at 8 p.m. to hear our founder Pete talk about the ins and outs of Nidhoggr Mead.
I'm excited.
This is like, we've hit the big time now.
Big time. It's big time. We got someone who has successfully made mead on our show again. So we've only had three mead makers on our show, which is Connor, Corey, and now Pete.
I wouldn't call myself a mead maker.
You tried?
I tried.
You tried? You definitely tried.
Didn't do it well, but I tried. Yeah. But yeah, we are the number one show on Demon FM and the number one show about mead and cheese in the world.
In the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland and possibly the universe.
Possibly.
Do you think there's
the Isaac Chunk?
Yeah. Do you think there's somewhere out there on another planet where there's two people talking about mead and cheese and thinking they're the only two people in the world talking about it on a radio show?
Well, I think mead is such a universal concept, isn't it, that it probably exists on other planets.
I hope, yeah, to be honest, like, I wouldn't, as long as that planet has bees, which, if that planet's similar to Earth, and being as mead is the first alcohol, then I would assume it would have mead.
Yeah.
Like, I was playing Skyrim, which is supposedly another planet, and I had some mead last night on Skyrim.
You had some, what mead did you have? Blackbriar?
I can't remember what it was.
Hunting brew.
They had some berries in it, I think.
Oh, was it the juniper berry mead?
I think so. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I got that in Skyrim.
Of course, juniper berry is used to make gin, which is often seen as a relative to mead, the cousin of mead.
Yes.
So I imagine mead with juniper berries would be a very strong gin mead hybrid.
Yeah, I think it would. I mean, that's why I think it's probably in Skyrim. It's quite a hardcore drink. Another place I heard of mead recently was House of the Dragon, which is the Game of Thrones prequel. They seem to be drinking a lot of mead, which I like.
Yes.
They don't call it mead, though. They call it honeyed wine.
Honeyed wine. Yeah, well, it's a term that's been used interchangeably with mead for a long time, isn't it?
Mm.
But we have argued against that at many points, saying that a honeyed wine is not a mead.
Well, I think, like, in the context of the show, it is mead. They just call it honey wine. Whereas sometimes when we've gone around in the modern era, it has been honey-flavoured wine.
Yeah, because we got was it a Romanian honey wine from the off licence, and that was clearly a wine.
Yes.
And not a mead. But it was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. It had a nice bee on it.
It did, which is why we thought it was mead.
Do you know what it wasn't as nice of? Actual mead.
Yes, actual mead. The classic. Yeah, we spoke about the origins of mead before on the show. We said it originates in China, 6000 BC. Mm-hmm. And people think that mead was first invented when some honey was just left out. And some water got on it and it fermented. So that's why I'm saying, in any universe, mead probably exists.
I mean, it's actually quite a probability because, like, if you think the universe is infinite, there's loads of options in the planet. As long as there's bees on that planet,
as long as there's bees,
there's a probability that it will be mead. But, like, I've been noticing it a lot more in my life recently, which normally doesn't happen. Like, I was playing maybe because I've just been playing old games. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla as well as Skyrim, and there's actually a bit on that game where you can do a mead drinking contest.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, actually, how mead became associated with Vikings?
Yes.
Because, as we said, mead did originate in China, is what they've found. So why do you think Vikings are sort of the more prominent mead figures?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think is mead a Nordic word?
I don't know. I know Nidhoggr is a Nordic word, and they're a Viking style mead. And
and Freud mead,
Fjord
mead.
That's a Scandinavian term, yeah.
And then when you have it with cider, it's cider, which does sound Nordic. Mead is the word mead Nordic? If anyone knows that, please do ring in or tweet in even.
But yeah, mead has been around forever and it's been consumed by so many different groups. Like, we know medieval kings loved mead.
Yep.
And you put out a graphic on the Mead and Cheese Instagram not too long ago about pirates drinking mead.
Yes, they used to have it on ship, and it was not just as a lovely, delicious drink. It was also to use as a medicine because of its healing properties, which was quite interesting because, you used to get scurvy. I'm not sure. I don't think it was used for scurvy particularly. Mead
might have been.
Let me have a.
Scurvy is mostly due to a lack of sugar, isn't it? And mead is a very sugary drink.
Yes, I agree. But then we've had Mead Pidna, Polish mead, on the show, and they've been spicy.
They have been spicy.
They are spicy.
But again, mead is still very big in Poland. It didn't fall out of relevance as it did over here.
Yeah.
And we are thankful for companies like Nidhoggr trying to and succeeding at bringing mead back into the spotlight. Yes, yeah, and it's nice, and I think it's nice that it's not just one place what's doing it. It is multiple places, and there's quite a nice online community on Reddit about actual just people homebrewing. It's all, I feel like with this making progress, like since when we started this show last year, like we've found bars. That's my Clash of Clans. Is there mead in Clash of Clans?
No.
There should be.
I've been addicted to it at the minute. I was trying to find a little fact about mead on my phone, but...
No, what I will say is it's nice to see the resurgence of mead. We know that the American Homebrewing Society founded the National Mead Day, which... eventually went on to become International Mead Day, and we even celebrated it on one of our previous episodes.
Yeah, and the thing was, like, when we originally found out that, we didn't actually realise that there was a Mead Day. Like, it's not... You don't really notice it here in the UK unless you're looking for it. It's not like something... I don't think you ever see it on the Google home page, like today's National Mead Day. I could be mistaken by that, but I've never noticed it.
No, but we took note of a lot of meaderies offering mead and cheese hampers.
Yeah, and crazy enough, another thing I do is wax melts, and then one of them did mead, cheese, and wax melts hampers, and I was like, I hope I inspired that. I don't know. I can't say I did for certain, but I hope something in the universe. I hope the gods. I hope I presented that idea to the gods, and the gods was like, yes, we'll have that. And then it inspired all the meaderies across the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland.
I would think so. I would think, meaderies, they obviously heard about the show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they started doing mead and cheese hampers. And then when Mead and Cheese started giving away the Hoist Lemonade wax melts to the patrons...
Yes, we did.
I think, some of the meaderies took notice then and went, oh yeah, wax melts, they go well with mead and cheese.
Yes, they do. They do. And talking about the Mead and Cheese Patreon, you can join our Patreon. It's Mead and Cheese. It'll be on our Instagram, But one thing what we will be having on our Patreon shortly is a new ringtone.
Yes, we will, because last week we had the independent filmmaker Jed on our show.
Yes, Jed was amazing, and he decided to get out the musical instruments, and he made us a ringtone, and then we all decided to have a little jam as well.
Yeah, and Jed was an interesting guest as well, because he's not a big drinker, but he did say that mead is something he would consume regularly. Yeah,
he said he would have it in his room. So, and as far as I'm concerned, that's one more household buying mead, then that will help us reach our 27.8 million mead bottle sales per year.
Yeah, and of course, to help us achieve that goal, you could go out and buy a bottle of Nidhoggr.
Yes, go.
Even our local listeners in Leicester, if you want to pick yourself up a bottle of Nidhoggr Mead, you can go over to the 23 Wine and Whiskey shop.
Yes, because we did see it. That's a new thing, isn't it, them selling it?
Yeah, they've sold other meads before, last year when we went in, but the Nidhoggr hasn't been there as long.
Yeah, it is very much. I hadn't seen it before, but I'm glad that it's there now. And that's the other thing. Like, wine and whiskey isn't exactly like a mainstream shop.
No.
So it'll be nice to see a bottle of this in a mainstream shop, just like in Morrison's or Ease and Tesco's or Asda.
Yeah, I don't know how you go about doing distribution for mead and how that all works on the business end. And I suppose these are questions we can ask Pete when he comes on.
Yes, I definitely agree. I think it'll be interesting to find out about the business side and how you sort of like get into becoming a meadery, because I know must be a lot of processes to start, and I'd be interested to find out a bit more about that.
Yeah, so would I. Tom, do you think it's time to go to a quick song?
What song are we thinking?
Only the best song ever made.
Is it Year 3000?
It is Year 3000. Coming up next on Demon FM. Welcome back to Mead and Cheese, the premiere show on Demon FM, De Montfort University's student radio.
Hello.
And at 8 o'clock, we are going to be joined by Pete, the founder of Nidhoggr Mead Co.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It is exciting, yeah. We've not had a big mead guest for a while, have we?
No. And we've never had a big cheese guest. But I'm glad that we've got... I would say this is our first guest who has successfully run a business with mead.
Yeah.
You know, I know we had Connor, but his thing is very much in the starting stages, which was interesting. I would love to hear someone who's a bit further down that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, as you just said, Tom, we had Connor, and he was at the start of that journey, trying to make a name for himself. Nidhoggr is very much further along in that. They do have an established audience.
They do, yeah.
Of people who buy and drink their mead. And, you know, they've won awards. Their name is out there. You can even go buy a bottle of Nidhoggr in Leicester.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing with mead is it's so important. Like, yes, ordering it online is fine, but I feel like it's a true achievement when you can walk to a shop and go down and find their mead. And I think that is something what's quite important.
Absolutely, because Leicester isn't really a big mead city, is it?
Yeah, it was only the most searched for place for mead in earlier this year.
Only after we started the show.
Yeah, so it's sort of it's like since we started the show, we've encouraged bars to start selling mead, and now we've found some which have obviously at some point must have heard that message and started selling mead.
Yeah, but going back to what I was saying, Leicester isn't a big mead hub like some parts of the UK, but it's interesting that Nidhoggr is available in Leicester. Would you say that Nidhoggr Mead Co. is the largest dedicated meadery in the UK?
I don't know about that one. I would like to find out more on this show. Because also we've got Lime Bay Winery and Moon Honey Mead. Yeah. I think like these ones like we've scouted out. So
Lime Bay Winery are a winery more than anything, aren't they? Like, well, what I'm asking is Nidhoggr the largest dedicated meadery? Like that's their main focus.
I'm not sure because I know Moon Honey Mead only does Moon Honey Mead. I do think it's up there though. I do think it's definitely like as far as meaderies go, it is very, I think one thing is it's very adherent to sort of like the Nordic sort of Viking sort of traditions of it.
Yeah.
Like elderflower. I'm pretty sure that feels like I feel like a Viking would have elderflower mead.
Yeah, because some of the other meads we've tried, as you've said before, they have more of the honey taste. This is very much a strong Like, it's a very stern drink.
I tell you what I love though. So when you're on their website and you go to contact us, it says send us a raven. I love that.
I don't have a raven. I've got a carrier pigeon.
So if you want to order mead, you've got to get a raven and write your order and then send it.
Could I not just send like a guy called Raven?
Send us Raven from that kids' TV
we
show.
Could send Ravel.
Good old Ravel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one letter off Ravel. No, yeah, one letter.
We'll just say, oh, sorry, we didn't read it properly.
Yeah, we thought
you said send Ravel.
Send...
Yeah. No, but it's interesting because there's a lot of not a lot of, but there are quite a few alcohol breweries that do mead, but not many of them are dedicated meaderies.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I see what you're saying there, that this one is one of the few which is just for mead. There is the Cornish Mead Co, though, as well.
There is.
Mead.
There is. And as you said, there's Moon Honey, we had Connor's Fjord Mead.
But the thing is, like, before I searched, I had never heard of many of these places. You have to be interested in mead. Like I'm pretty sure, like, you could be a non-drinker and know what Strongbow was, or, what Rattler's cider was. They have a lot bigger presence. But, to know, I don't know, Cornish Mead or Nidhoggr Mead or Moon Honey Mead, I feel like you have to be following that, like being in that sort of, at least interested in the drink mead.
Yeah, and it's interesting as well because a lot of the meaderies or the breweries that do mead that we've seen have mostly been down south.
Yeah, this is a good northern, isn't it?
This is a strong northern meadery.
Yes. Yeah, I do agree with that. I think that in terms of branding, it's got very strong sort of, like, I really do like the thing they're going for, sort of like the more Viking sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that has a wide appeal, doesn't it? There's a lot of people, getting into mead for the first time because of things like Game of Thrones and Skyrim.
And I like the community spiritedness of this company. Like, you can tell if you go on their Instagram that they're obviously quite involved a lot, and it looks like they're involved with the medieval scene as well.
Yeah, they supply the mead for the Jorvik Viking Festival in York.
Oh, I'd love to go to that. I would love to go to that. Because since I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I've really been into, like, Vikings at the minute, so it's like the perfect time to do this show.
Absolutely.
I wonder if they're drinking Nidhoggr Mead on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Maybe. Or what the at the time alternative would have been. Yeah.
Goes back, what is it, thousands of years.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that Nidhoggr, they just stumbled across, like, an old piece of paper with tea bag stains on it.
Yeah.
Saying, make the mead like this. But yeah, we could ask, what the process was to create the Nidhoggr traditional mead. Like, how did he land on that particular flavour combination? Because as we have said a few times, it is very different to a lot of the meads we've had. And it'd be interesting to sort of understand why it is so different. Yeah,
I'm just saying on that, like what you're saying about it being quite an independent meadery. It is very focused on the four products by the looks of it. The traditional elderflower, lemon and lime and ginger. So I wonder why it's them four things. So traditional I can get, but how many, like, I want to sort of like know how many, like, different flavours they experimented with, because we've experimented with mixing meads and we've tried different flavours like berries and stuff. So I wonder what sort of like the thought behind the flavours are.
I think, yeah, because one of the best flavoured meads we ever had was a mint mead, wasn't it?
Yeah, yes. I that's one of my favourites as well. The Garden Mint Mead from Lime Bay Winery is very nice. I think another one for me was the Helligan Garden Mead. Helligan Gardens
Is that the
Mead.
blackberry one?
Yes, the blackberry, and that was, I felt like the closest. I like, as we said before, a lot of times when they're flavoured, sometimes they feel like hoka pops, but this one felt like it was an actual drink on its own standing. So, like, I always find with mead flavourings interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, and yeah, we can definitely ask him when he comes on at 8 o'clock. Why did he land on those flavours specifically, or what other flavours did he try?
And if you're a listener and you want to ask any questions, please do tweet in at Demon FM or at Mead and Cheese, and we will help you. We will forward them questions as well.
Yes, absolutely, we will do that. So we are going to go to the Mead song by Brothers of Metal, which is a very Viking-esque metal band, isn't it? So yeah, that's coming up next on Demon FM. Don't go anywhere. We have Nidhoggr Mead Co.'s founder coming on at 8 p.m. Pete. So this is the Mead song, Brothers of Metal.
And cheese.
Mead and Cheese.
We are live.
We are live. You are listening to Mead and Cheese, the premier show on Demon FM and the number one show about mead and cheese in the universe.
Yes, in the universe.
Yeah, so we are going to be joined at 8 o'clock by Peter Michael Taylor, the founder of Nidhoggr Mead Co. This is, I've been looking forward to this episode for quite a while, Tom. What about you?
Yes, I honestly, I feel like the most thing, it'll be quite educational for us, talking to someone who's got an established mead company, and I love the branding and everything. Like, so I am very, very excited today, and I'm sure many of our listeners who have been on this journey for the better part of months now, since November last year.
Nearly a year.
Yeah, nearly a year. So, and we're finally meeting someone who who makes money from making mead.
Yeah. I mean, as you say, this show has been going on for nearly a year. And what would you say some of the highlights have been of Mead and Cheese?
The Transformer special.
Yeah.
The 80s special was very interesting.
Yeah.
I'll say they're my two highlights.
I think when we had Charlotte on from Change Agents UK, that was a very good episode.
Yeah, that was okay. Charlotte was okay. She's a nice person, isn't she?
Yeah, a very informative episode.
Yeah, Charlotte is my sister, who we spoke about the sustainability of mead. Which I think that's something which I am quite passionate about at the minute, and learning more about, because a lot of these mead companies are talking about being more sustainable. I know Lime Bay Winery partnered up with I can't remember the name of the thing, but basically when you ordered a bottle of Lime Bay wine, mead, you got like something called a bee bomb, which was from another charity, and you basically throw that on the ground somewhere, and it helps promote bees in the area.
Yeah, and we know that Nidhoggr as well, they are doing something with Save the Bees, aren't they, Tom?
Yes. So I'm looking forward to find out more about that as well. And I would like to see if there's anything like Mead and Cheese could do to promote healthy bees.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you've said, any world where bees exist, mead probably also exists.
So if bees exist on a different planet, do you think the honey would taste different?
I don't know, because different honeys taste different anyway, don't they? You get different types of honey. And I think I read that Nidhoggr's mead does use Yorkshire honey.
Yes.
So, that's That's nice.
And do you know when you have local honey, it's said to help you against hay fever?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and you know what was one of the nicest honeys I ever had?
What was that?
It was when me and my partner went on holiday to the Isle of Man,
Mm-hmm.
and we bought some Manx honey. And that was very nice.
Mm.
Yeah.
What did she think of the Manx hoodie?
I think she enjoyed it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
had some like honey on toast.
Honey and toast. That sounds nice. And was there any like nice trains?
There were some lovely trains. Yeah, there was the steam railway going around the island.
I've always thought it's a very romantic thing to take someone on a train ride.
I think it's a very romantic thing.
Because what is life but a train ride? What is life but a journey?
Yeah, it's a very romantic thing to take someone on a journey
And
to the Isle of Man.
I'm sure that your partner would agree with that.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Isle of Man. It was a very nice place. It was a lovely holiday. But going back to Mead,
They will be derailed by trains.
they don't want to be derailed by trains now. Yeah, I like what you did there. Nidhoggr. It's a lovely mead.
Yes, it is. And I would like to see it on trains across the country. But yeah, I think we could do a lot. I feel like on this show particularly, we could do a lot more about, the whereabouts of mead. I want to do more like a Viking special. And because we've had a pirate special, but I don't think we've ever done a Viking special.
No, we've not done a Viking special before, which is really weird, isn't it? Actually, like we've done this show for nearly a year now, and we've not done a Viking special yet.
Yes, yeah, and my whole thing is, I think I was watching a really interesting video the other day. Someone made mead mixed with heart.
Mead mixed with heart.
And I can't remember in the video if they said that was something Vikings used to have at times. I can't quite remember. I think it was, because it was and they mixed it with like not a human heart, like it was an animal heart. I think it was like maybe a pig heart or something. But they mixed it with heart, and that was a weird thing to watch. Apparently it wasn't great.
Yeah, there's been a lot of weird meads throughout history, hasn't there? Like, we spoke about blue mead on the show before, and that's mead with fungal bacteria growing in it.
Yeah, someone made cheese puff mead.
Yeah, cheese mead.
Yeah.
If you owned a meadery, would you consider making a cheese-flavoured mead?
Yeah, would you consider doing it for like Halloween? I would like to see a pizza mead. Pizza-flavoured mead. Pepperoni pizza mead. That's my challenge to all the meaderies. Make a pepperoni pizza mead, and we'll see which one can do it the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we spoke on the show before as well about vegan mead and whether that's possible.
Veed.
I think we said it would be a mezcal, wouldn't it? Because you'd have to use agave nectar.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against calling it Veed. I think that'd be cool.
No,
vegan mead.
It's mezcal.
Yeah, but I think
It's like tequila.
I think it's an interesting concept though. Because I feel like to get to 28.7 mead bottles sold a year in the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland, we need to move the whole nation with us. So we need to accommodate for vegetarians, vegans, from people of all backgrounds, and we need to move us all together.
Yeah, vegetarians can drink mead.
Yeah.
It's just vegans, isn't it?
Yeah, so we need the vegans to be behind mead. We need them to be behind the mead Veed. We need everyone. We need everyone who is of legal age to go get yourself a bottle of mead and just have it in your room.
Yes.
Help us
absolutely.
reach 28.7 million households by 2032.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a song. We're going to go to Darling by the Beach Boys. And then right after that, we will be joined by Pete, the founder of Nidhoggr Mead Co. so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Mead and Cheese on Demon FM, the premier show of Demon FM and the number one show about mead and cheese in the universe.
Hello and good evening.
Yep, so we are about to be joined by a very special guest. This guest is the founder of Nidhoggr Mead Co.
Whoa!
Introducing Peter Michael Taylor.
Hi guys, how's it going?
It's going very well, thank you. How
Hi.
are you?
I'm doing alright. Currently sat in a hotel room about to do a show over the weekend. So
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. Where are you right now?
we're in Buxton currently.
Oh, cool.
About
cool.
to do the Pavilion Gardens Christmas gift sort of fair thing. And then another one of our teams is at Gosfield Tudor weekend.
Nice, nice.
Quick question. In the hotel, do they have any mead?
They don't know,
Damn.
but I will rectify that.
Brilliant.
That's what we like to hear. So we've got a few questions for you then, Pete.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because we've had mead makers on before, but we've never had anyone at your sort of level before.
Mm-hmm.
So we just wanted to ask, I think as a first question, how did you first get into the mead business?
Well, it's quite an interesting one, really, because it just sort of happened. I'm a Viking reenactor,
Nice.
part of the Vikings
This
UK
is
Society,
Leicester's student sound.
and was making it as a hobby
Nice.
for myself, my friends, my wife to drink and have some fun with. And then, of course, COVID came along.
Yeah.
So I was furloughed, I was bored, I got nothing to do, so I started making more mead. And we did a little Viking show at Merton Park, a little Viking village just on the outskirts of York. And the York Centre came along and tried it
Nice.
and asked me if I sold it. My response was no. And they said, well, if you do, we'll buy it as the York Centre. So I went home to my wife and I told her it was going to be a small little side project. I lied.
Yep.
And I turned our entire house into a meadery.
Nice.
So I sold the dining table, I got rid of the back bed, we put racking everywhere, we didn't sit on the sofa for 8 months. I've had to replace all the carpets in the house because you squelched when you walked. I think my dog is still sticky. So we are finding honey in the most random of places. You know, you like sort of move the fridge and there's just like sprays of honey where the filter would just like spray out. So yeah, we did it in the house for about 8-9 months. And throughout doing that, we sort of moved on and we got some more customers and things like that. And we became the exclusive supplier to the York Centre, which is great. And now we have 2 premises. We've got the warehouse and the meadery, and we have 6 staff, and we stock over 56 places around the UK.
Nice, nice. Yeah, we went into the 23 wine and whiskey shop here in Leicester and
Yeah,
picked up some of your mead from there.
fantastic.
So yeah, very, very nice
We are-
mead.
Yeah, we're trying to get out there as much as possible. I mean, we've just done a deal with National Trust,
Nice.
which is insane. So we're going to be supplying their Sutton Hoo site to start off with a view to sort of expanding over more National Trust sort of places. And we're in talks with Warhammer World as well, which is awesome as a board gamer and a D&D fan and Warhammer fan, and that it's to be able to get into some with such recognition. And then there are a few other things that I might mention a little bit later on.
Yeah, we've got a big game society here at DMU, so it'd be interesting if we could get them all in on the Nidhoggr Mead bandwagon as well.
Oh yeah, as many people as possible.
So, Nidhoggr's based in York.
Yep.
And I read on your website that you use honey supplied from York as well.
That's right. So when I was making mead for a hobby, I'd obviously drank an awful lot of mead. Being a Viking reenactor, I've drank lots of people's meads. And one of the things that I said was I would only use 100% honey.
Yeah.
And I remember buying my first 5 kilogram bucket of honey and thought, wow, this is a lot of honey. And that was from sort of a local beekeeper. It was actually a friend's mum. So we got that and then sort of progressed from there, and I kept saying we're just going to use Yorkshire honey, only Yorkshire honey, because it's really, really good honey. Mm-hmm. And I don't agree with some of the practices abroad of sort of, honey made in Europe. Some of it's not done very well with looking after the bees and things.
Yeah.
So then we upgraded to 22 kilogram buckets, and when we first started, we used to heat those in the bath.
Nice.
So have the hot water running, 3 buckets in there, keep topping it with hot water to sort of, melt down this raw set honey into liquid. And now we buy our honey by the metric ton.
Wow.
So yeah, it all comes from East Bridlington.
Nice.
He is the second largest honey producer in the UK. He produces around 80,000 tonnes of honey a year.
Wow, that's a lot of honey.
Mm.
It's a lot of bees.
Yeah, a lot of bees, and I think bees, without bees, the mead business wouldn't exist, would it?
Well, without bees, we'd all be dead. So,
well, there's that too, I suppose. Yeah. We did a sustainability special quite a while back on this show where we had some workers from Change Agents UK come on telling us about sustainability in the mead industry. So I suppose I wanted to ask you about the Save the Bees campaign.
Yeah, so it's something that's quite important to us. We support several different charities. So from each bottle that you buy of our mead retail at a show, you will be donating money to the Save the Bees campaign, which is obviously quite a big thing, and something that we're quite keen on. We're all about sustainable and ethical use of bees. There are practices within beekeeping abroad, not here, but they'll take the queen, they'll burn the hive rather than having to sustain them, which A, is not very good for the bees, but also B, isn't very good for the ecosystem in general and things like that. So we support them. We also support the Yorkshire Centre, and we also support Duncarron Medieval Village in Scotland as well. So 3 charities for 1 bottle of mead.
Nice. Yeah, we're big on sustainability on the show, aren't we, Tom? You would say that.
Yeah. I find it really interesting how different ways how meaderies can be more sustainable. So I noticed you do 4 different flavours of mead: the elderflower, the lemon, and is it lime and ginger, and then traditional.
Yeah, so we do 5 now. So
5.
We released raspberry and lemon about 2 or 3 months ago now. But yeah, 5 flavours in total. Yeah, you are right. Traditional, elderflower, raspberry and lemon and lime, and our ginger. So yeah, 5.
So one thing we found was we've done different experiments with different meads and mixing them and that, and we wondered how did you sort of decide them 5 different flavours to be your ones?
So these flavours were the ones that I made originally for myself, my friends, and my wife. They're flavours that I enjoy, and I'd sort of had a bit of a play around with lots of different things. I once made a coffee mead. It was nice. It was, to be honest, it was absolutely awful. I cold brewed coffee for about 48 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then made mead with it. And I used about 5 bags of coffee. It was like death by caffeine. And when I first tried it, I was like, this is absolutely awful. But, typical mead maker, you never throw anything away. You stick it in a cupboard and you wait for a bit. And about 6 months later, I came back to it and we went to a party with our friends. And I was like, I've got nothing to take. I'll just take this 5 litres of coffee mead. Somebody will drink it. Turned out it was actually really, really good in the end. And everybody was that drunk but couldn't sleep because they were so caffeinated. But that's, yeah, I mean, I just sort of had a bit of a play around, really. I got very, very bored in COVID, and I had nothing to do but make mead. So I made loads and loads of different flavours, and the way that we decided which ones we would use for the company is I'd make up R&D mead, as I'd call it, put it in a 5 litre water bottle, and take it to a Vikings show. And whichever one got drank first, that was the flavour, you know?
Yeah, because your elderflower mead won an award, didn't it?
It's won 2 now. Yeah, it did. So we were very happy when we won gold in the sweet methylglyn category, herbal or spiced, at the Mead Madness Cup, so the largest competition in Europe. But recently, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we won silver at the Mazza Cup International, which is the world's largest mead competition. So it was, pretty impressive. So first best in Europe, second best in the world.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's quite a big,
that's
quite a big accomplishment. And going back to being bored in COVID, then, and some of the mead flavours you tried out, did you ever try out making a cheese mead?
I didn't know that. I mean, I could certainly give it a go for you guys if that's something that you really want me to do. I mean, I don't know how well it would work, but I can certainly try and do you a cheddar mead or something.
Yeah, we'd definitely love that.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah. Fair enough, right, well, there you go. I've said it live on air now, I can't get out of it, so I'm going to have to make you some form of cheese mead for you guys to drink.
What cheese would you say pairs best with Nidhoggr Mead?
Well, I mean, it obviously depends on the flavour of the mead. I mean, traditional, I'd put with a nice red Leicester.
Oh.
The elderflower, something maybe like a brie, like a nice softer cheese. Lemon and lime, something like a Stilton, something to bounce off, and then the ginger, something like a very nice spiced or smoked, so like a nice German smoked cheese, or some like Mexican spiced.
Ooh. Yeah, we spoke about it earlier on the show, what cheese we thought would go best with Nidhoggr, and we said since Nidhoggr is the Yorkshire mead, that it would make sense to pair it with the Yorkshire cheese and put it with some Wensleydale.
It might well do. I mean, I've never eaten it with Wensleydale personally, but I mean, I'd definitely give it a go.
Yeah, so how did you land on the name Nidhoggr then?
So, obviously, being a Viking reenactor, I met my wife doing Viking reenactment. I killed her dad on the battlefield, in typical Viking fashion. At that's it. At the Battle of Stamford Bridge, and spent the entire evening then doing magic tricks and singing Disney songs with her. 2 weeks later, moved to York, and the rest, as they say, is history. But we were in different Viking groups. We were part of the same society, but we were in different groups. And we'd got some other friends that had moved to York and things, and we wanted to form our own Viking group. So obviously Nidhoggr is the symbol for outlaws and rebels in Norse culture. And as we were both leaving different groups, we thought, you know what, we'll be the outlaws, we'll be the rebels. So that's what I called the Viking group. And when it came to naming the company, I thought, you know what, I want to disrupt the industry. I want to take over. I want to, do as well as we possibly can. So why not be the outlaws and the rebels that come in and do it?
No, I massively respect that. Obviously, on Demon FM, we ourselves are outlaws and rebels.
Yes, we are.
That's the way to do it.
So yeah, it's good knowing we've been drinking the Rebels mead.
That's it. There you go. Joining that mead revolution that we're trying to start.
Yes. Could you tell us about any other awards that you've won then?
So I was very fortunate to win Startup Food and Drink Entrepreneur of the Year from the National Startup Awards for Yorkshire, North East and Humberside. There's a very funny picture of me actually winning that award and a very funny video because I didn't believe that I'd won. So we'd gone. I'd taken my parents, taken the wife's parents, taken the wife, taken the manager of the meadery, Bardwell. And we'd all gone up to Newcastle, and I'd had a few pints because I thought, you know what, I'm not going to win. There's no way I'm going to win. We've played a game. We'd circled people in the programme about who we thought were going to win. And then sitting there chatting away, and my friend has pulled his phone out and he's videoing. I'm like, why are you bothering? I haven't won. And they called my name out, and I just didn't register it at all. And everyone's going, you've won. I'm like, what? Who has? What? completely oblivious. And then when I finally do realise, it's like this very strange sort of scream face thing that happened. But yeah, so we won that, which was great. And we are now up for 2 more awards. So we're up for Best New Business through the Deliciously Yorkshire, the Yorkshire Taste Awards. And our ginger is also up for Best New Wine or Spirit.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah, trying our best.
Nice. So we're going to go to a quick song break. We've got Stupid Love by Lady Gaga coming up, and right after we will go straight back into the interview with you, Pete. So,
awesome.
Yeah, next up, Lady Gaga on Demon FM. We are back on Mead and Cheese, the number 1 show about mead and cheese ever, and we are joined by the award-winning founder of Nidhoggr Mead Co., Pete. How are you, Pete?
I'm great. I was just rocking out that idea. Yeah, I love My Chemical Romance, so I was having a bit of a moment.
Yeah, that was your request, wasn't it?
It certainly was, yeah. So I may have just been dancing around my hotel room.
Yeah, we're all about dancing around on this show. We've put songs on and just thrown ourselves around the studio before, haven't we?
Yeah, we've made music on the show as well.
Yeah, we did that last week. We had a guest on called Jed, and we used a stylophone, a harmonica, and a tongue drum, and made a ringtone.
All sounds very entertaining.
Yeah, the sort of stuff you get up to after a bottle of mead.
I don't know if this is a family show or not, so I better not tell you some of the things I've got up to after a bottle of mead.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. Yeah. So Tom, what is our mission statement?
So our mission here at Mead and Cheese is to raise awareness of meads across the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland and the rest of the world. We want to see in the UK a mead in every single household. We want to raise that we want mead sales to raise to about 28.7 million before 2032. And, we want to accompany that with bringing nice cheeses and matching them up with meads and, bringing, highlighting the craftsmanship what goes into making a nice mead.
Yeah, and craftsmanship is a big part of mead, wouldn't you say, Pete?
100%. I mean, it's kind of a bit of an art form, really. I mean, my sort of go-to phrase is mead is really easy to make. Good mead is exceptionally hard. We have an awful lot of people that come to the stall, and I encourage as many people as possible to go out and make your own mead. And I'm more than happy. I'm not the font of all knowledge, but I'm more than happy if people want to message my website, message my company. I will give anybody that asks advice on sort of how to make mead, because the more mead out there, the better. As you've just sort of said as part of your mission statement. But yeah, there are a few things that people don't think about or don't really know about, which means that their first go at making mead ends up like rocket fuel, and it kind of puts them off a bit. But honestly, just keep having a go. It is a craft, it is an art form. You just have to play around a bit, and eventually, it just sort of it works, and then you're like, aha, I don't need to go and buy anybody else's mead anymore. I can start a mead company in my back bedroom.
I'm getting deja vu here, because it sounds like you're quoting myself back to me a little bit, Pete. I've tried to make mead once before, and I spoke about it before on this show, and my exact words were, it was rocket fuel.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't very good.
No. I mean, it happened to me a few, sort of the first few times I tried it as well, and then you start to do a bit of research, you look into it a bit more, and it becomes quite scientific. Because at the moment, I mean, we do it in a very inefficient way currently.
Yeah.
So we brew in 23-litre buckets still. So kind of a home brew method. We have over 300 of them, but we still do it in a sort of a home brewing method. And it's sort of figuring that out. I mean, now, we've got our recipes, we know exactly what we're doing, and it's the same ingredients all the time, so it works. But when we were first trialling it in, demijohns and stuff, the slightest thing can affect how mead is made. Everything down to the pH, down to fluctuations in temperature, loads of different things can alter your flavour.
Yeah, and I suppose that explains a lot, because we've had a lot of different meads from different meaderies before, and, although it's always good, sometimes there can be slight variations in how they taste from bottle to bottle.
Yeah, and I mean, one of those things is obviously, depends who you're getting the mead off, because people use different variations of honey, and obviously honey is the main ingredient in real mead. So depending on where the bees have foraged will flavour the honey, and that honey will then obviously flavour the mead. I tried an amazing lime tree honey, which I really wanted to use in making a mead, but there just wasn't enough of it to use commercially, unfortunately. But it was fantastic. It literally had this really nice little subtle hint of lime just in with the honey, and it was absolutely fantastic stuff.
So how long would you say, like, per week now, then, do you spend, like, making mead in your meadery?
Oh, wow, that is a question. So because we do it in 23-litre buckets, we make mead every week. So we have a load of different racks, obviously split down per flavour, and as we rotate stock off to then obviously rack, filter and bottle, bring to shows and obviously sell wholesale, we then have to replace that. So each week we go through a sort of a sequence of phasing of taking mead off, putting mead back on. Today, for instance, the guys put on 20 buckets of traditional, and beginning of next week we are stocking up now for sort of the next sort of few months on shows and things. So we are filling all 300 of our spaces with buckets of mead. We are aiming in the new year to change the way that we do things, because as you can imagine, 300 individually heated buckets is quite expensive when you're having an energy crisis. So we're aiming to upgrade to full 2,300 litre fermenting tanks, and basically turn it into a brewery, a micro brewery, micro meadery, as is the correct term. But yeah,
and it's interesting that you bring up the energy crisis and the cost of living crisis, because I believe it was a post that you put out about the cost of living crisis that initiated the talks for you to come on this show.
Yeah.
How would you say the cost of living crisis has affected your business?
I feel that it's not just the cost of living crisis. It's obviously coming out of COVID. It's other things within the economy. But everything's costing more money. It's ridiculous. And because we only use Yorkshire honey, and because we use a lot of it, we use 12 kilograms of honey in every 23 litres that we make. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. It's huge amounts of honey. And our honey went up by over £1 a kilogram in the space of a month, which, when we buy it by the metric ton, is a lot of money. So people are still wanting to go out and spend some money. We do 2 shows a weekend all over the country, and people try our mead and they go, "This is great," and they want to buy some, which is fantastic. But it's not as many as before, and we're not going to begrudge people that. If you've got a choice between, unfortunately, heating your home at the moment or buying a bottle of mead. Yes, our ginger mead will keep you warm, but unfortunately, you can't give that to the kids. You've got to think about what you're doing, really. We are a luxury. I'm not going to say we're the cheapest mead out there. We're not, but you pay for quality at the end of the day. All of our mead, is made with spring water from beneath the Pennines, honey, natural honey, all 100% honey. We don't use any sugar. We don't make a great wine base and then flavour it with honey. We don't do any of this rubbish. It is proper mead. So I think, the cost of living crisis will tail off, hopefully, if the government stops doing idiotic things. But mead will always be here. It's been here for the past 5,000 odd years, so it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. I think it is that thing where, like, easing ourselves. Like, I found myself not buying as much mead as we used to. Like, we used to buy one from another place which was £8, and it's gone up, to £12, and everything is becoming a bit more of a luxury, I suppose, now. Anyway. So your plan is just to sort of wait till we're sort of out of this storm.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep doing what we do. So we have plans. We have lots of plans, obviously, for the future. I mean, from where we started a year and a half ago, nearly 2 years ago. I mean, we started the company December 2020, so nearly 2 years ago now, in the back bedroom, to where we are now. Is insane. And one of the things that I set out as a mission statement, sort of going back to yours, is that we wanted to start this mead revolution.
Yeah.
And we think that mead is, or was, and is thought of as quite niche. If you want to go and buy a bottle of mead, you've got to go to a boutique shop or go online, get it ordered, get it delivered. You can't just go down to your local Tesco's or Morrison's or Asda and pick up a bottle of proper mead. It just doesn't happen. So one of our mission statements was we were going to change that. And I'm happy to say that we are in talks with 2 supermarket chains.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, wow.
I can't say who yet, but we are in talks with 2 supermarket chains. Which means if we can do that and we can get it in there, we're going to help. Your dream of it being a staple drink in 28 million households isn't hopefully going to be too far away.
Yeah, I suppose your mission statement is very similar to ours. Like when we first started this show, we were also quite disheartened that mead wasn't available in supermarkets, and it was seen as this niche drink that. Not many people we'd spoke to had heard of.
A lot of people we spoke to. Initially, when I met Corey before we started the show, I didn't know what mead was. I've heard the word, but I didn't know what it was exactly. And I like many people, had this sort of feeling that it would be quite like an ale, a bitter drink. So I wasn't interested. And then Corey took me. I went round his and we tried some. I was like, oh, this is actually really nice as a drink. And then we just started talking and started the show. But it's like, I feel like it's also like, I think it's great that you go around the country to these different events, because that's I find that when we on this show we have given people mead, they're quite surprised about how nice it tastes.
Yeah, we get that a lot. So obviously we do these sort of 2 events a weekend. We do a range of different shows, from reenactments to Comic-Cons to food and drink festivals, tattoo festivals, basically anywhere where we can go and have a good time and sell some mead. And it is, our catch line basically to hook people in is we just shout free alcohol at people until they come and try some mead, and they come over and it's like, oh, have you ever drank mead before? No, I've got no idea what it is. Is this gin? No, it's mead. Well, it doesn't look like mead. What do you think mead looks like? A beer? Well, it's not a beer. I'm telling you what mead is. This is. You've said you've never even. Yeah, but don't they drink it in massive flagons in Robin Hood in the movies? And you're like, oh god, right, okay. Here we go. Let's explain. So, you're right. Lots of people have this, sort of misconception that mead is a beer. Obviously, you can make a braggot. which is very nice. A nice mead dark ale, nice mead beer, honey beer as a braggot. But for some reason, everybody thinks that mead is a beer, which is very strange.
Yeah, and I suppose going back to what you were saying about people thinking it was a gin or you should drink it this way and whatever, there are lots of different types of mead, aren't there? And I think there's a mead for everyone.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, this is why one of the reasons, obviously, I was saying about people trying the different flavours and things, these sort of 5 flavours sort of whittled down to pretty much every single flavour range that people could go for, apart from sort of umami, really, and nobody really wants soy in their mead because that'd just be weird. But we've got a spicy one, we've got a citrus one, we've got the herbal one, we've got the sweet one, and we've got the fruity one. So it kind of covers a lot of different things. But yeah, I 100% agree that there is a mead for everybody. One of the first questions we ask people when they come over is, what do you like to drink at the moment? Because that gives us an inkling of what they might like on the mead spectrum. If they like gins, they're probably going to like the elderflower. If they like whiskies or brandies, they're going to probably like the ginger. If they like rums, then they're probably going to like the lemon and lime and things like that. And then they try it and they're like, oh, wow, this is absolutely amazing. And we go, thank you. But one of the other things we do is, well, don't worry, why don't you try this with stuff that you already drink? Because part of what we were thinking of doing, in regards to starting this mead revolution of getting more people to drink mead and get it more well known, is the easiest route to market is to put it with things that people already drink. So we created a load of mead cocktails, which lots of people thoroughly enjoy.
Nice, yeah. We were going to get onto mead cocktails at some point, I think, going back to the craftsmanship discussion, because we tried mixing mead with a lot of different drinks, didn't we, at one point?
Yeah, we spent like an evening with a bottle of mead and loads of different mixers, and we sort of tried to rate them, though after a few our ratings were a bit disjointed, to say the least. But like I think my personal favourite was mead and Coca-Cola. I quite like that, but I know like Corey, he particularly liked mead and tonic, and you'd like mead and beer as well.
Yeah, we mixed mead with lager, and that was quite nice. But yeah, as someone who drinks gin quite regularly, mead and tonic sat really well with me.
Okay. So I mean, if you like sort of gin, do you like fruity gins? Do you like normal gins? What sort of gin do you go for?
Any gin, really. any alcohol,
gin,
to be honest with you.
Any alcohol? Oh, that's good. So, I mean, we have a few different gin cocktails. I'd recommend probably the Niflheim Sour cocktail. So that is 50ml of our raspberry mead mixed with 25ml of normal gin, 25ml of lemon juice. Shake that over ice and add in some foaming bitters. As you shake it, serve that in a martini glass, and you are loving life. You can top it off with some, flowers, edible flowers, and things like that. But that is absolutely fantastic. Really good cocktail.
That does sound beautiful. Like I work as a bartender, and I've been trying to convince my employers to get mead for forever now. And they always shoot it down. But if I walk up to them with a mead cocktail, maybe they'll change their mind.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go on our website and have a look, we had a load of cocktails created with an award-winning cocktail bar called Forage here in York. I had to, it was horrible, spend the whole day drinking. Dreadful stuff with these award-winning mixologists. I know, right? It was terrible.
So you made all these cocktails in one day? I've just got the page up.
In one day, there was 15 on there, yeah. So we and that was with some that we didn't put on the list. It was a great day out for me and the staff. I took everybody, and we all basically sat in a private room while mixologists made us loads of mead cocktails, and we got rather squiffy. It was very enjoyable though, and we kept, they came up with some absolutely fantastic ideas, and they worked really well. we occasionally run a mead bar at some of the events that we're at, and we do cocktails, and people get mad for them. The general public think they're absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, you got some really interesting ones here. Like I'm at the bottom, Odin's Eye. That sounds cool.
That's one of my favourites. Odin's Eye is just that raw liquid honey that's in there is just fantastic. It really coats your throat. If you're not feeling very well, crack on with a bit of that, and you'll feel a lot better.
So it's kind of cool that you keep all these on like brand as well, sort of like with the Nordic sort of Viking names as well. That's really cool.
Yeah, we would say that the branding for Nidhoggr is exceptionally strong. Like, you have a clear brand image throughout everything you do. So would you like to talk more about your brand and how you get into the mindset of creating a new drink or a new cocktail?
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. I mean, when I first started the company, I've been a sales. I'm ex-military. I was in the army for a while, and then I got into sales, and I did sales for many years. And we started having a look at making a mead, and we started thinking, we might start the company when the Yorkshire Centre spoke to us. So to gain the money to do it, I worked 3 jobs. Now I am dreadful at doing any form of art, any form of artwork. I can't even draw stick men. It's that bad. However, my wife, on the other hand, is absolutely fantastic at graphic design, at artwork, and of all of these sort of things. So we would literally sit there with another one of my friends, Sev, from my old Viking group, till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, going and tweaking and looking at the labels. I did not know how long it could take you possibly to produce a label, but I think it was about 60 hours that went into creating these labels with my wife Ellie doing all of the artwork and tweaking everything. And we wanted to make, as daft as it sounds, we wanted to make it modern Viking. So one of the crazy ideas that I had for advertising and stuff was, our tagline would be for the warrior within. And we'd have a Viking warrior sort of, running around having fights, and then it would sort of, the same person, it would switch into modern day life, and they'd be in the boardroom, or they'd be dealing with the kids, or it'd be whatever. Because although, we're not going out pillaging anymore, everybody has their own struggles, everyone has their own daily sort of things that they go through, and everybody, in one way or another, in my opinion, is a warrior. You get up, you keep going, you keep moving. So that's what we wanted it for. We wanted it for the modern warrior. So we wanted to keep it with, a thing that's very close to us, our Viking tradition, our Viking sort of things that we really enjoy doing as part of our hobby, but also with the modern world. So that's why you've got the monochromatic things like the blacks and the whites and all that sort of stuff, but then with the Viking imagery in there as well.
Wow, yeah, the warrior within tagline and this image of a Viking transforming into a board member. I don't know, it makes me want to drink more Nidhoggr Mead.
Well, that's one of the ideas. The other one was taste the past, live the moment.
Ooh, that's very poetic.
Yeah, and mead is timeless. So we actually created some historical adverts with the help of many of my reenactor friends. I bribed them with mead to run around and do crazy stuff, as you do. And yeah, the idea was that we had people from all these different time periods drinking mead until it got to the modern day, and it was, mead is timeless, or tasting the past but being in the moment. So it was going to be one of these, people would be around fighting and all this sort of stuff over this mead. Somebody take a sip of the mead, you'd see all the fights happen, and it'd come back and they'd be in the pub with their friends, just drinking mead and having a good time. Because that's what we want. We want more people to drink mead, but we also want people to understand the history of it as well.
Yeah, we would agree. We've told people before, mead is timeless, even though it's the oldest drink possibly ever.
Yeah.
you know, we do think it has a very modern appeal too, and we wish more people would get into trying it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, you know, it's one of the reasons why when people come to try our mead at shows, we don't let them try one. It is a rule across the company. Well, nobody gets to try one mead. I don't care if you come up and say, I want to try that one. That doesn't happen. You start at one side and you finish at the other. You try every single mead that we offer, because how else would you know what you like? And we have loads of people that come up and say, I hate elderflower, or I hate raspberries, or I hate ginger, and they end up walking away with the bottle because they're like, this is the best thing I've ever tried. Which is like, so if you'd have told me that and I'd have listened to you, then you wouldn't have tried it, and then you would never know. And instead, you're going home with a drink that you're going to share with your friends and your family and enjoy.
Yeah, and that sort of goes back to what we were saying about there being a mead for everyone. Like, you know, don't try one mead, try as many meads as you can, because they're all very different to each other, and there's going to be one that fits your specific taste.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started drinking mead, I think I drank every mead possible. I distinctly don't remember a time at Corfe Castle where I managed to drink 2 bottles of Cognac, fall asleep by a fire, and wake up about 5 hours later and not realise I'd been asleep. You know, there are lots of different types of mead, lots of different ways of making mead. You know, other companies that say that their mead are a different form of mead. You know, you have Pyraments out there, great wines flavoured with honey. You know, you've got ones that use sugar and honey. You've got ones that just use honey. You've got Melamons, you've got Bocchets, you've got Methyl-glins. You know, this huge different array of things that are out there. And yeah, my best bit of advice is just try them. You don't know if you like something until you try it.
Yeah, and I suppose that goes back to the cheese mead that you've kindly offered to make for us.
Well, that's it. I've now I said it on live radio, so I don't really have a choice now. I've got to make you some form of cheese mead.
What would you say your favourite cheese is?
I don't know. I like sort of a smoked oaky one. That I can't remember the name of it now, but you get it in like circles. It's like a German cheese. It's like a smoked oak cheese, and that on a burger is absolutely fantastic. If I was just to eat cheese on a cheese board, you know, with a mead, probably Red Leicester.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, the nation's favourite cheese, as voted by our audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did a great cheese war because we wanted to...
Hey, guys, you made...
Yeah, because we wanted to knock off the top cheese.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you manage to do it?
We did. Do you know what the top cheese was before our audience voted Red Leicester?
I don't. What was the top cheese? Are you going to say Wensleydale?
No, it wasn't Wensleydale, unfortunately. This was according to a survey by Food Hub. They asked a large portion of the UK public what their favourite cheese was, and the UK voted for the processed cheese slice.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That is disturbing.
It is. That's why we set out to change it.
Well, I think you've done very well there, guys, to be honest. Although I have got something worrying for you. I have actually managed to find in our brief sort of conversation there natural cheese essence, which is going to go into your cheese mead.
Oh, I'm excited now. Kind of.
There you go. Well, look, guys, I've no idea how this is going to turn out, but if I make a promise, I stick to it. So you will have a demi-john of natural cheese mead. I've no idea what it's going to taste like, but I will make you a demi-john and I will send it to you guys to drink.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. It might end up being a really nice mead, and you could add it to your product lineup.
Yeah, I mean, stranger things have happened, you know.
Yeah. So you mentioned melomels earlier.
Yes.
So we were going to do a cheese quiz.
Okay.
So we're going to do 2 truths and a lie about mead.
Okay.
So
This is going to be hilarious when I get this wrong, but there we go.
So the first fact for you, one of these facts is a lie. The first fact is mead is thought to originate in China. Fact number 2 is that a mead containing fruit is known as a melomel. And fact number 3 is that mead was originally brewed with maple instead of honey. Which one of those do you think is the lie?
See, I'm torn now because I think I know where mead originates, or where we think mead originates, and I don't think it's China. However, the maple thing has thrown me now completely. I'm gonna go with China. I'm gonna say it doesn't originate in China.
So we can confirm that you didn't get that right.
Oh no!
Yeah, mead. They have found pottery vessels in China dating back to 6000 BC that show traces of honey and fermentation, which is why they believe mead first originated in China.
There you go. You see, I had it at 3500 BC in Sumerian tombs, because that's the earliest records that we got of it. But there you go, China, it wins. So I'm guessing it's the maple thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
of course, that wouldn't actually make it a mead. Yeah,
the maple mead doesn't exist as far as I know.
Well, not yet, because that's one of the things that we're actually looking at doing. I caught a little bit of the show before I came on, and you were talking about vegetarians and vegans, etc. Drinking mead now. Honey is fine for vegetarians, but it's not fine for vegans. So we are looking at making a maple syrup mead.
Oh, good old mead. I like that.
Yeah, a mead. Yeah, as a way of doing it, but using proper maple syrup from Canada, and fermenting that. It'll give you the sort of similar, different flavour profiles, darker, but sort of the same idea.
Yeah, we'd definitely be interested in trying a mead as well, a maple mead.
Yeah, it's called an aceglin, I think is the proper name for it. An aceglin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've definitely seen that word around.
We'll give it a go, and we can send that with your cheese mead for you.
Oh wow, yeah, we've got a lot of mead coming our way, Tom.
It certainly seems that way, doesn't it? It's as if you were on a radio programme called Mead and Cheese.
No, we definitely appreciate that. It saves us going out and buying our own mead.
Well, as long as you're buying Nidhoggr Mead, I don't mind.
Of course. As we said earlier, people who are listening who are local in Leicester, you can go to the 23 Wine and Whiskey shop and buy some Nidhoggr Mead from there.
And also, I'm assuming, and you can also get it from their website, which is nidhoggrmead.co.uk.
You certainly can, and of course you can also get it from any of the shows that we're at. Please do give us a like on Facebook or Instagram, or both preferably, and you'll see which shows we're at the weekends, and be able to come and try all of our different flavours of mead, because I won't let you go away having just tried one, at any of the events that we're at.
Yeah, so when is your next show, Pete?
Okay, so this weekend we're at the Gosfield Tudor weekend and the Buxton or the Peak District Fair, and then next weekend we are at 2 other shows. So next weekend we are at Filey Food and Drink Festival in Yorkshire, and I tell a lie, we're not at 2 next weekend. I actually have a weekend off. I'm off going Viking with my wife and our friends. We'll be at the Battle of Hastings. I would say kicking some Norman buttocks, but unfortunately we're historically accurate, so losing horrendously to the Normans. And then the following weekend we are at Chester Cathedral, we're at Cambridge Living History Fair, and we're at the Halloween Tattoo Bash. So loads of different places. Do check on our website, there's a list of shows. Do go on our Facebook and have a look there as well.
Nice. So we're coming towards the end of the show now. Is there any sort of statements you would like to make for the remainder of the airtime we have?
Not really statements. I think from sort of my end, I'm very fortunate that we managed to create a product that people enjoy. But we want as many people as possible to go out there, try making their own mead, having some fun, drink loads of mead. Go to your local pub, ask them if they've got mead. If they don't have mead, tell them they need mead. Do the same with restaurants, shops, anywhere you go. Tell people that they want to try mead, they need to try mead, and it's actually a really, really good drink that should never have gone out of fashion. But unfortunately, these things happen. But we are going to bring it back. So for me, if people want to join the mead revolution, amazing. If you're already listening to this show, you probably have done. Be an advocate for mead. And if anybody is making their own mead and wants some tips, as I say, I'm not the font of all knowledge, but drop me a message on my page, and I'm more than happy to give advice and help out. And if anybody's in the Yorkshire area and they want to come and visit our meadery, you are more than welcome. Monday to Friday, give us a shout, come on over, come and see how we do it all.
Amazing. Thank you for that, Pete. So I'm going to be really horrible now. We do a section on the show called Pitch Invasion, where we get people to pitch stuff to us. They get 2 minutes and we can invade their pitch with our own ideas. So we would like you to pitch an advert for the new cheese mead.
The new cheese mead.
Yep, you have 2 minutes starting now.
Mead, cheese, 2 revolutionary products. No home can be without them. So, what if we combined them? Mead and cheese. Cheesy mead, brought to you by Nidhoggr Mead Company. This combination of natural cheese essence and pure Yorkshire honey is going to revolutionise not only your mind and taste buds, but also your bathroom. This is a new product that nobody has ever thought of before, probably for good reason. However, we are going to bring it to you from the same people that came up with buying things off wish.com. This is it. No longer going to Tesco's, Morrison's, Asda, Waitrose, and the cheese aisle on its own, and the mead aisle that is yet to come. You get it all in one bottle. This is quite possibly the weirdest but nicest product you will ever drink in your life. You may only drink it once, but it will be a memorable experience.
Pitch Invasion. Where are you sourcing your cheese?
Our cheese comes from a multitude of different places. No one really knows where. It's one of these ethereal things that just sort of happens and for some reason is then distilled down into an essence of cheese.
Wow.
I'm too busy laughing at this, but I can't do anymore.
That tends to happen with pitch invasions.
This is Leicester's Student Sound.
Yeah, the radio's trying to cut us off there again. Yeah, I think that was an amazing pitch. One of the best we've ever had.
I'm excited for this cheese mead after that advert.
Yeah, so am I.
Well, you know what I mean. This is going to be something completely different for you guys, and also for us. But I'll make sure that I get that made and sent over to you. And then, please do drink it live on air.
Oh, we will.
We definitely will.
Because it's just going to be amazing.
Yeah, so thank you so much for coming on, Pete. You've been an absolutely amazing guest, and we've loved speaking to you.
No, thank you for having me.
You requested a Nidhoggr Mead song from Skyrim earlier, but We don't have that, but we do have the Skyrim theme song to close out the show.
That sounds good to me.
So yeah, thanks for coming on, Pete. This has been Mead and Cheese on Demon FM, and we will see you all next week.
This is Leicester's Student Sound.
Demon FM.